your home for original reporting.
Steve Kathan. President Trump says Iran still wants a deal to end the war very badly, and Pakistan says there are moves to extend the ceasefire and restart negotiations. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the White House.
A U.S. official confirming to CBS News that U.S. diplomats suggested a 20-year suspension of Iranian nuclear enrichment at a minimum with other restrictions. But, already some Republican allies of the president have pushed back against that idea of a moratorium instead of an outright ban. And the president, when asked about that, told the New York Post, he said he doesn't like the 20 years that he's always said Iran cannot have nuclear weapons.
Trump also indicates on social media that China has assured him it won't help Iran's military. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer.
The Financial Times got documents that show that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard purchased a satellite that had been launched by a Chinese company and also purchased access to ground receiving stations and specifically asked for satellite pictures of U.S. bases.
The U.S. military said today it stopped 9 vessels from sailing out of ports in Iran during the first 48 hours of a naval blockade. Tornado damage and floodwaters hitting parts of Iowa and Michigan. This woman in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, says the hail was large.
We've heard hail before, and it just kind of pops, but this was banging. This was like somebody throwing rocks at the house.
CBS's Usher Qureshi.
The big concern now is what's next. Forecasters warn another round of severe weather could develop later today with the same threats. Damaging winds, large hail, and the possibility of more tornadoes. Now, people here are preparing. They're clearing their yards. They're charging devices and making sure they have a safe place to go if warnings are issued.
It's April 15th, a scramble for some people to get their taxes filed by the deadline tonight. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
If you file electronically and you've got all of your documentation, then you may be able to make it. Now, conversely, if you don't think you can do it, you can file for an extension. That is a 6-month extra period of time so that you can prepare your returns. But under the IRS rules, you still have to make sure you've paid what you think you owe. Otherwise, you could be subject to penalties. And who wants that?
Now to Boston. A ceremony today to mark 13 years since the Boston Marathon bombing. Wall Street, the Dow is down 240. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, an encampment sweep underway in West Seattle. We'll take you there live. First, KIRO Newsradio traffic. The biggest delays right now from Renton to Linwood on 405, a 65-minute drive, a delay of about 14 minutes. Renton to Seattle slow going as well, 38 minutes. It's about a 6-minute delay. More surprisingly are the below average times that we're seeing this morning. Everett to Seattle, just 48 minutes. That's 21 minutes below average. Linwood to Bellevue, I should say, it's an easy drive, relatively speaking. It'll still take you some time, but 7 minutes less than usual. And Federal Way to SeaTac, taking you just 8 minutes. That is half the typical time. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm John Repp. Within the past few minutes, the city of Seattle has moved in to clear away another homeless encampment, this time in West Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is there and joins us live. James.
John, this encampment sits for what's known as Totem Pole Park near the West Seattle Golf Course. Neighbors say the encampment is a source of crime, drugs, and violence and has been an ongoing problem on and off for several years. Seattle City Council member Rob Saka represents the area.
And we're having some audio issues with James. We'll try to rejoin that here in just a little bit, and we'll keep you updated on this developing story throughout the morning. A former major with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office is in jail this morning for a DUI crash.
Chad Dickerson was sentenced to 3 months in jail and 12 months of community custody for crashing into another car. And we've been tracking this story since this happened last July. Dickerson was off duty at the time. Dickerson hit an SUV with a family of 6 people inside.
KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon reports the crash injured an 8-year-old boy, his mother, and his grandmother. Mountain Pass driving a little tricky this morning thanks to new fallen snow. KIRO 7 reporter Jack Bilyeu reports the late season storm is absolutely no help for skiers.
The snow comes just 2 days after the summit at Snoqualmie closed following a ski season that was challenged by a lack of snowfall. Locals say it's a fitting end to an unpredictable season.
Have like little to no snow and then getting dumped on for like a week.
A winter storm warning in effect until 11 tonight. Roads bare and wet right now over Snoqualmie Pass. Snow and slush at Stevens Pass. Stressed about tax day? Well, if you live or do business in one of 16 Washington counties hammered by storms late last year, the IRS says you have until May 1st to file and pay. That includes King, Pierce, Snohomish, Skagit, and a dozen other counties across the state. KIRO News Radio weather. Looking at light rain and clouds in the morning, some possible thunderstorms in the afternoon, the high 49 degrees. Tomorrow morning, warming up slightly. Sunshine returning along with some clouds, the high 56. And then Friday into the weekend, partly cloudy skies and warming up just a little bit more into the mid-60s on Saturday and Sunday. Currently in downtown Seattle, 41 degrees and light rain. I'm John Repp. KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Grateful that you're hanging out here with the show. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, we are living longer than ever these days, and that's great news, right?
Yeah, great news.
Yeah,
great news.
But the question we have is, are we actually ready for all those extra years? So coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk about a few small changes that you could do right now to make a huge difference later.
Flex Fridays.
That is huge, and that is part of the conversation. Okay, and in our continued quest to choose joy, I want to make sure y'all know that tomorrow night, we're going to have our first 8 p.m. sunset of the year. Come on.
I thought you was going to talk about the Strait of Hormuz.
No, gee, don't be Captain Brain Down.
Okay.
Our text line.
He said it's going to be open.
888-973-5476. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. 888-973 KIRO.
All right, let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
A former major with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office is now heading to jail after pleading guilty to a drunk driving crash that injured a family, including children. Court records show Chad Dickerson had been drinking at a golf course before getting behind the wheel. And we have talked about this quite a bit, G. Even hours after the crash, his blood alcohol level was 0.09. And a state patrol trooper said his eyes were watery and his speech was slurred when he caught up with him at the urgent clinic. Dickerson is now going to serve 3 months in jail, followed by a year of community custody. And as a convicted felon, he loses the right to own a firearm. But as you know, to get to this point has been full of controversy. And even earlier this month, the sheriff's office actually sent out a press release saying that there were concerns about how the deputies at the scene handled that situation, specifically that they may not have followed body camera policy. Mm-hmm. But then just a day later, the sheriff's office walked that back, calling that initial press release premature, and announced that the deputies were cleared. Now, Sheriff Keith Swank said the issue was a single word in the policy itself. And he said the rules around body cameras were unclear in that old policy because it said they should turn on their cameras instead of shall.
Should and shall is two different things. One's mandatory, the other one is use your best judgment. The judgment wasn't right. They should have turned it on. I can't sustain a complaint on somebody for the way the policy was written before.
Now, Swank says that policy has been clarified. Deputies are expected to turn cameras on during emergency calls, and not doing so could mean serious consequences.
Ursula, at my party, you met my Aunt Jean.
I did. I love her.
Right. And her daughter, Christy, was my cousin. And she was there with her boyfriend. Now, both of them are law enforcement. Christy, just talked to her on the phone, but really proud of her. They've been in law enforcement. Her boyfriend is almost 20 years, and she's been there 15 years. I'm bringing this up because I wanted to bring you into a discussion that I had with them, and they were just telling me, James himself, great dude, he was just talking about how the fun in law enforcement has gone away for him because of all of the rules and everything like that. It just feels like they're just under pressure, can, do anything right, if you will. And to which I asked him, I said, okay, I agree with that, and I do think that things are, especially the perception of law enforcement, there's a lot of evil things that get said to them. They were telling me about those things. But I said, but you do have to admit, we still have situations, like it's better now, but it was so outrageous, like the Blue Shield, people trying to cover things up. You do admit that was a problem, right? Yeah, that was a problem. And you do admit it still tries to happen today. Yeah, but not that much, but it still does. This right here, Ursula, they literally tried to cover this up. They tried. The sheriff's office then puts out a press release saying deputies violated policy for not turning on body cameras. Then one day later, quietly told the Guild that the deputies were cleared of all wrongdoing. This dude, first, I'm shocked that he even spending time in jail anyway, so I'm just shocked about that. But he had help in this situation. If they would have done their job initially, maybe this wouldn't be a thing. I'll just say this. The gut punch to me is this. Sure, he'll go spend a little time, whatever, 3 months, 1 week, however long he's going to be.
And he's probably going to get sued, too.
No, yeah. And by the way, when they get sued, who pays for that? Taxpayers. But really quick, the gut punch to me, Ursula, is the pension part. The gut punch to me is sure, he'll do this 3 months, he'll do his 12 months community service, all that, whatever the case might be. But he still walks away with a pension. Taxpayers pay for that. And also taxpayers will pay for the lawsuit. And this is the two-tier justice that we talk about. He is an embarrassment to law enforcement, to all of the men and women that do it the right way. He's disgusting, and he should have never gotten away even this far.
Well, and the only reason he didn't get away is because a State Patrol trooper, despite everything that happened at the scene, went himself to the urgent care clinic where the major's wife had taken him and still said, yeah, there's enough evidence here that you were under the influence. So I am thankful for that. And now I'm thankful that the sheriff says that the word should has been replaced by shall, and it should be much more clear for deputies down the road.
Glad you gave a shout out to the Washington State Patrol and that officer. I just want to remind you that the sheriff of Pierce County, do you remember when he was talking bad about Washington State
Said
Patrol?
It wasn't a real law enforcement agency.
Yeah, just want to make sure we remember those things. Okay.
Well, Seattle has suddenly found the broom and the mop. The city is now ramping up a massive cleanup effort ahead of the World Cup, when we expect more than 750,000 visitors to come through Seattle for those soccer matches in June. According to the city's latest report, crews have cleared, get this, 5.3 million pounds of trash in the past year and picked up more than 660,000 needles from streets and public spaces. They've also responded nearly 35,000 service requests, and volunteers have chipped in nearly 32,000 hours just trying to keep the neighborhoods clean. And city leaders are saying this is all about pride and partnerships and making Seattle shine on the global stage. Now, I guess it's my turn to be a little bit of a Captain Bring Down.
Let's go!
Because my question is, why do we wait for the world to show up to treat our own city like it matters?
Because it's a natural thing.
Why don't we have this energy on a daily basis? I mean, you know my thing about graffiti garbage and needles, but especially the graffiti. Why don't we have the same kind of energy on a daily basis for all of us who live here or live around here or work here?
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Okay. I'm going to help you out, and I'm going to encourage you and get you back straight again. You know, right now here at our office, the top bosses are here. And what I mean by the top bosses are here, I mean, you know, I always talk about boss lady. I mean, their bosses are in from out of town. And I find something interesting. I've seen some of the bosses. I see what they're wearing today. I'm like, oh, you guys must have a meeting today. And I see, oh, your desk is organized today. Oh, I see you've cleaned up. Ursula, it's a natural thing to clean up and show face to people coming in town. When your in-laws come in and you make them sleep on the couch, no, don't do that. When you fix up the room for them, you clean up. It is a natural thing. But I thought you'd like something. I did some research for you.
Okay.
You said 5.3 million pounds of trash?
Yes.
That's 530 orcas.
Oh.
Yeah, orca whales.
Oh.
That's 530 orca whales.
You love orcas. You love talking about those whales.
But no, okay. First of all, you're not wrong. Okay. You're not wrong.
Yes,
we do need to keep that same energy all the time.
Exactly. I mean, if we can do it for the World Cup, why can't we do it for the people who live and work around here?
If you can do it for Mima and Papa, why can't you do it for the kids?
I know. Everyone on the text line is already excusing. Yeah, we're having company.
We're having company. It's a
Most people clean extra when they're expecting
Ursula,
company.
You don't clean extra when you had them parties, them perfume parties?
I cleaned a little bit. I do get some help, but I did clean a little bit. But I try to keep a certain level just for my own comfort.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't let it get trashed.
Yeah.
And then only do it on an occasional basis. Now, my car is a whole different story. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Washington Republicans are once again pushing to change how we vote, and this time it's with a new initiative that would require proof of citizenship to register. So the idea is simple on its face. You show documents like a passport or a birth certificate once when you sign up to vote. And the supporters of this, again, mostly Republicans, say it's about cleaning up voter rolls, removing people who have moved or died or shouldn't be registered in the first place. But according to the Secretary of State's office, there have only been 15 cases total of non-citizen voting in Washington over more than 40 years. And they say the system already verifies identity before any ballot is even counted. And so critics of this move say this isn't really solving a real problem, and it could actually create new ones because, for example, only 30% of Washingtonians have an enhanced ID, meaning there would be a lot of eligible voters who would have to track down their documents or risk being dropped from the rolls by 2027 and not being able to vote. So my question for all of you listening right now, and I want you to text us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. What do you think is the biggest risk here? We've laid it out for you. Voter fraud or making it harder for eligible people to vote.
And you said these are mostly Republicans that want this, right?
Yes, it's Republicans in the legislature who are pushing it.
Interesting. Will y'all start telling the truth ever? Are you ever going to start telling the truth? Meaning, like, Ursula, you love numbers. And what's your one saying that you always say in search of a problem? What you always say all the time?
It's finding a solution in search of a problem.
Let's give some context about voter fraud. In the state of Arizona, over the last 25 years, 42.6 million ballots got cast. There was 36 cases of fraud. 0.0000845%. In the state of Pennsylvania, over 100 million votes cast across 30 years. 39 cases of fraud. All I'm saying, GOP, Republicans, there's receipts. There's receipts of the past. There's receipts of the people that tried to make you take a literary test. There's a receipt of people. It's the same thing. You're not trying to root out the fraud because there is none. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make it tough for people to vote. And then you try to just, that's not what we meant. No. It reminds me of the Strait of Hormuz was open. And then one day, somebody does something, and then the Strait of Hormuz now is a threat to be closed. And now we have 50,000 troops that are there. I mean, it feels like the Republican Party, boy, I tell you what, y'all winning. And I know you talk about the state of Washington. But
we are talking about the state of Washington where they said there's
people.
only 15 cases of non-citizen voting in over 40 years. So I want to mention that for the critics who claim, and I already see them now on our text line, who say it's happening, we just can't see it. What evidence would prove that? Because right now, Washington already verifies signatures, checks ballots, and audits elections. So if fraud were widespread, where are the patterns that we are seeing? Again, right now we are seeing isolated cases. The other thing that I get from folks who are saying, well, any fraud is too much, which is correct. I think that even 15 cases is not good. But the reality is no system is zero risk. Not law enforcement, no system is zero risk. There are always going to be problems. So the real question is the trade-off, right? I mean, if you tighten the rules to stop a handful of bad votes, but you make it harder for thousands of eligible people to vote, what problem are you solving? And so people will say, well, why would it be so hard to do this? Again, only 30% of residents have enhanced ID right now, today. And for when it comes to documentation, if you're asking people, okay, show me your documents, how quickly can you do that right now? I mean, this is the question. Powder Pig just texted in and said, "Are you dumb? That's exactly what fraud is. Stuff you cannot detect." And again, where is your evidence, Powder Pig?
Hey, you know what? That's it. Ursula, I went to the dang on doctor, and you know what the doctor told me? Gee, you need to lose weight. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna tell you what my plan is. When I pull up on him again and I get on a scale and he says, Gee, you still haven't lost any weight. You know what I'm gonna tell him? You just can't see it. It's happening. You just can't see the weight being lost, right? Like the weight is coming off. You just don't see it. I just want to just give that theory.
Yeah.
And so then the doctor says to me, but wait a minute now, what other ways are you trying to measure that? Because I saw you the other day and you were 300 pounds, technically, 300 pounds, and right now you're 302. I don't see the weight being lost. Yeah. What other method? Well, doctor, I can't show you that. I can only just tell you that it's happening.
Well, I will tell you right now, G, despite your greatest analogy, there are still people on our text line right now. We're like, nope, it's happening. It's happening. Again, look at what the heritage, and there's no doubt. There are going to be, people will say, well, I got 2 ballots or my daughter in this particular state. Well, did they try voting? And did they get 2 votes to count?
Yeah, exactly. Kara, the cleaning lady, says, I'm a Republican, and even I don't want any changes. I wouldn't want to have to take a day off work to vote and probably wouldn't. Can't afford to do that. I don't think making changes would help anything. Okay, Ursula, how you feeling? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. I actually had a really joyous story about Josh Naylor, as if we didn't need more things to love Josh Naylor about. But there is a really great story. I want to get to that.
I want to get to that too.
To that.
Yeah, but can we get to the America too, the longevity and Josh Naylor? Because Josh Naylor is pretty cool. Y'all got to stick around for that. We'll do it next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed The 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Let Olympic help you create the ultimate home contrast therapy studio. Pair relaxing Tilo sauna with our revitalizing Vigor cold plunge. Save up to $5,000 when you buy both. These massive savings end April 30th.
Deep to right field. Going. Goodbye, baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a view that's a real home run, check out right field. Make that the dump yard. Sure, it's a great spot to see our fearless outfielders fly, dive, and slide.
Wow! Victor Robles makes the catch!
But you might get to flash some leather too, because the forecast in the dump yard always calls for rain. Raining big dumper home runs, that is.
Number 60, the magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners kick off a 6-game homestand this Friday. Don't miss great giveaways like the King Dome Fanny Pack hat on Friday night versus the Rangers, thanks to Global Credit Union, and 3 straight Mariners value games against the A's. Monday, April 20th through Wednesday, April 22nd. Lock in your seats today at mariners.com.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. I'm working to lower costs, grow the middle class, keep us safe, and defend our freedom. I'm also here to help you with the IRS, Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered over $16 million for taxpayers and look forward to helping you. Call me at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemen'shealth.com.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For a limited time, upgrade your home's comfort and cut energy costs with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus $1,000 off whole home projects. New windows help keep your home warmer in the winter, cooler in the summer, and your energy bills lower year-round. Plus, enjoy 18 months, no payments, no interest, only through April 15th. Hurry, schedule your free estimate before April 15th. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. A resumption of direct talks between the United States and Iran is expected within days. And now with the Strait of Hormuz under U.S. control, favoring ships deemed favorable to U.S. goals.
To this day, I can't say that I fully understand what his objective is. I come from the perspective of wishing that we could see regime change in Iran.
That's former Trump National Security Advisor, former UN Ambassador John Bolton speaking with CBS News 24/7. The city of Seattle is clearing out a homeless encampment at this hour. West Seattle at Totem Pole Park. Neighbors say the encampment is a source of crime, drugs, and violence, and it's been an ongoing problem on and off for several years. Seattle City Council member Rob Sacco represents the area.
There's a huge public safety challenge there. It's public safety related. It's public health related now with an overdose death. The situation there is totally out of hand.
There are several city departments on site offering resources, including shelter options. A new report finds baby boomers are dominating the housing market. The National Association of Realtors says 42% of home buyers are boomers nationwide. Deputy Chief Economist Jessica Lautz notes that 14% of buyers are purchasing multi-generational homes.
There's a lot of reasons to do so. Cost savings at the top of the line, certainly, but also elder care and child care really being solved in this, and Gen Xers squeezed in the middle with these multi-generational home buyers.
Seattle's City Council has approved two major pieces of legislation aimed at speeding up the expansion of shelter and services for people experiencing homelessness. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it's a big win for Mayor Katie Wilson.
One ordinance cuts red tape to open more shelter beds. The other reallocates millions of dollars to support shelters and wraparound services. Councilman Dan Strauss worked with the mayor's office and sponsored the legislation.
We need 24/7 case management and medically assisted treatment in many places. And this higher level of care means that there's a higher financial cost.
Both bills passed unanimously. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 205 points right now. The S&P 500 up 28 points, and the NASDAQ is up significantly 1% at 246 points. KIRO News Radio traffic. If you're heading northbound out of the Renton, South Center, SeaTac area, you're going to want to budget in some extra time. Renton to Bellevue, the biggest headache right now, 39 minutes versus a typical 30. Good news is the HOV lane on that stretch is just 14 minutes. South Center to Alderwood on I-405 running 57 minutes against a 49-minute average. But the good news, if you're heading south from the north end, you're in great shape. Everett to Seattle running 13 minutes faster than average at 48 minutes total. Linwood to Renton on I-5 saving you 12 minutes. And Linwood to Bellevue is 11 minutes under average as well. And then finally, Linwood to South Center, if you're taking 405, 10 minutes ahead of the norm. This traffic report brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. You can text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. Taking a look at your weather forecast. We've got light rain off and on this morning. Thunderstorms possibly rolling in the afternoon. The high 49 degrees. Mostly sunny on Thursday. More sun with some clouds on Friday. And very nice as you look into the weekend, warming up to around 63 degrees. Currently in downtown Seattle, we have some light rain, 41 degrees. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Okay, Gee, when did you get that email? You just got an email or a text message.
I was getting coffee, and somebody texted in exactly what the problem was, and they've been trying to get an enhanced ID and all that stuff.
Okay, so we're going to bring this back because I'm going to tell you right now, our text line has exploded with the discussion about changes to how we vote. So we're going to bring it back up at 11 o'clock.
I will say, I love all the texters.
Yes.
And so many. Not one of them disputed the numbers.
They're not disputing the number, but they're disputing the claims, and they're talking about. We'll bring it up at 11 o'clock. So I want to make sure that everybody feels like they're being heard, and we will bring it up again.
Facts,
but right now,
facts are struggle these days. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, right now we're going to talk about another fact. The fact is, we're living longer than ever.
Yes, we are.
Which sounds great. Mm-hmm. Until you realize most of us are not ready for what those extra years actually look like.
Okay.
Sadly, I saw that with my parents. Both of them lived until, my dad was 93, my mom was 87. Yeah. And even though eventually you're going to have to encounter and face certain things, it's so hard for so many people. And the National Council on Aging says about 80% of households with adults over the age of 60 do not have any money set aside or enough money set aside for long-term care or any emergencies. Mm-hmm. And the kicker is that we are really planning for retirement like it's the finish line, when in actuality, it is the start of a whole new chapter that could require a lot of help, something that you don't think about even in your own home today. Right. You get around your home today really well, but do you have a lot of stairs? What is the accessibility like when it gets harder and harder and your knees are giving out? So fewer than 5% of U.S. homes are actually built for aging. Meanwhile, the 65-plus population is expected to jump to more than 80 million people by the year 2040. This is according to data highlighted by Fortune. So the real question I have for you, Gee, and everyone who's listening right now is, are you ready to keep living? Not just are you ready to retire, or have you even thought about retiring, but even beyond deciding on your retirement date. Are you ready to keep living once you retire?
I don't know. And I don't think most of us know the answer to that. And in this, we talk about, like, right now, the oldest baby boomer is going to turn 80 this year. But the thing is 80%. Right? 80% of households with folks over the age of 60 don't have enough for long-term care. You ask me, am I ready? I think of retirement like I think of a road trip. You're getting ready to take a road trip. You pack your sandwiches. You fill up the gas. You have your blankets. You got your playlist. You have everything ready for this road trip. You're going to be on this destination. You have everything you need. What you don't have is a plan for when and if your car breaks down and the engine blows.
Yep.
200 miles away from everything. That's what retirement is. So while we have all of these plans, we cannot plan if the engine will blow. Sometimes you could have the perfect engine on Friday, and on Sunday, the engine blows, and you had no plan. So that you ask me, am I ready? I got a lot of things financially in place. I have a lot of things, my plan of where I want to live and all those things. But, if my engine blow, it's going to be hard times.
And you were saying there's nothing that you can really do. And I would argue that there are things that you can do, and they need to start not when you're 60, like me, but they need to start when you're in your 20s. Easier said than done, I realize, especially when we talk about how it is so hard to even cover your basic expenses right now, especially when you're young. Mm-hmm. It's very tough. Mm-hmm. But looking at what you can do right now, first of all, most importantly, is to have that conversation with your family about the care plans. And I can't emphasize this enough, because so often it's when disaster hits is when the whole family's scrambling to figure out, oh my gosh, what do you want? What do you want done? Sometimes the person who's in the emergency cannot answer that. So you've got to have those discussions before it happens. The other thing is, even in your 20s, save something, even if it's tiny. And I always ask young people who work here in this building, are you taking advantage of the 401k? Because a lot of times you're like, I can't. I don't even have enough for my bills. Mm-hmm. And I would just argue even the tiniest amount, because obviously compounding interest, and you might not think about it in 20s and 30s. Yeah. But as you get closer and closer, you're like, oh my God, thank God I did that.
Well, and I also, since we want to talk about the state of Washington, and yes, while it is great news that we are living longer, here's what a lot of folks did not prepare for. They didn't prepare for the outrageous property taxes that we are dealing with here. There are situations where you have loved ones that are on fixed incomes now that they've lost their spouse. Maybe they're 60 years old and they lost their spouse, and they probably might live to 90 years old. That's 30 years that they're going to have to live with gas prices, inflation, and all types of things on a fixed income.
Yeah, Social Security ain't that much.
No, it's not that much. And then, and if you want to go, let's say you're like, hey, you know what? I don't have it. I'm going to rely on insurance to just go and live in an adult home. Well, some of those adult homes and the service you get are predicated on the money you have.
Very true. So as early as you can, looking into those long-term care options. Michelle and Olympia was saying, when most people think long-term care is only about nursing homes. No, I mean, that can look all sorts of different ways, including living at home, living out your later years at home. Yep. But one of the biggest things, and we're talking about Flex Friday, stay and take care of your health right now. Because no amount of money is going to help if your health isn't there.
Nope. Okay, Ursula, we do need to talk. I want to talk about the double standard. You've heard about Diana Rossini. She is the reporter that resigned from The Athletic. And you know what? Double standard. Next, Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some people out there love to do things entirely on their own. Others
ask for help and trust their resources. When involved in an auto accident, you've got the choice of dealing with insurance on your own or hiring an attorney. I'm joined in studio by Harold D. Carr. He represents Harold Carr Law Offices. Harold, what's one of the main reasons for seeking representation?
If you were to look at statistics, most people end up with a lot less recovery when they don't have a law firm representing them.
And why should they hire Harold Carr Law Offices?
We're not shy about bringing lawsuits. We do try to settle, and insurance companies know that. They know that we're fair in how we talk to them. The answer is really we are very professional. But we've had cases, big and small, where we've had to take it into litigation, and about 98% of those will settle in mediation, a lot more than the client originally expected.
Visit carlaw.com. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
April showers bring May flood. Oh, who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and my friends at Valentine Roofing are ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine also offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, giving you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise Valentine Roofing was awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You deserve the best too, so schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Okay, it is the Gee and Ursula Show. I just realized that I'm looking for that 11 o'clock hour. I got it a little bit. Coming up at the 10 o'clock hour, the Seattle City Council voted on something to send some money. I wonder if they're going to be asking for some money, for some taxes. What do you think, Ursula?
Yeah. So I've got a question for you. How much do you love your local library? Are you willing to pay more in taxes to keep it going?
Yes.
I ask because there's one member of my household that is really good about using the library.
Right.
He's really good at it.
Yeah. How about Ursula? All right. We're going to be doing that at 10. Okay. Let me set it up. Diana Rossini, she was previously with The Athletic. She just recently resigned. You guys know the story about the alleged connection with she and head coach for the New England Patriots, who were just in the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel. Diana Rossini just lost her career, lost her job. Mike Vrabel, head coach for New England Patriots, he'll be coaching on day one. Same photos, same situation, just completely different outcomes. Now, I want to ask this. So before I get to the head coach, how many male reporters in sports have traded access for favors? How many have gotten tips, exclusives, inside information by doing things behind the scenes that nobody would know about? You see, today, right now, they're demonizing Diana Rossini. Okay.
Did they have an affair? I mean, just spell it out. Did they have an affair?
I'm not going to say that. I ain't losing my job. It's alleged.
Okay, an alleged affair?
It's alleged.
Okay.
So much so that she resigned. Okay. Leave it that right there. You know, I got to make sure.
So she resigned or they fired her. Okay, we don't know that either.
Chicken or the egg. What do I think? My opinion that she was going to get fired, but she resigned. Okay. But here's the thing. The difference here is when a woman does things, it's a scandal. When a man does it, it's called, I'm building a source. Now, I want to let you guys, I want to let you guys know, I've been around this stuff for 23 years. I just recently had a situation where I knew firsthand and saw it with my own eyes how a male reporter wanted to break some news, not local, national. So I'm not necessarily defending the affair, alleged affair, or the photos. I'm just trying to be honest that a woman loses her job. The investigation continues on her work even after she has resigned. Mike Vrabel, head coach, will go back to coaching, no problem. And I just wanted to point out the double standard because the same rules don't apply to everyone, right? And a lot of people are just demonizing her. Oh, she did this and she had to do those types of favors. I just want to repeat, male reporters do favors as well. They cross the lines as well. We just don't talk about it. But it's easy to demonize the woman.
I think you make great points. So I'm just trying to familiarize myself a little bit more because I'd heard a little bit about what was going on. So what ended up happening, it sounds like, is that there were photos. So both of them are married to other people. And there were photos of them in Arizona. I know a place that you love, at an Arizona hotel. And there were pictures of them with their holding hands. And I mean, just looking like something else was going on beyond this working relationship, right?
If you want to add, let me give you context to the photo.
Okay.
The photo, they're locked in hands around each other around a hot tub. And so somebody would say, well, gee, that's no big deal. The thing is that when the photos came out, she told everyone, I was with my friends on a hiking trip, to which I hear from sources alleged to where they're saying, show me the friends and show me proof that you had friends with you out there. Yeah. That's one. Two, the hot tub in which you were at, the only way that you can access this hot tub is through a bungalow. There's one-bedroom bungalows that are around it, and the only way that you can get there is through your balcony door in the bungalow.
So she's lying.
So imagine
she's lying. They're lying.
Imagine seeing Sophia and myself at one of these things, locked arms in near a hot tub.
I'm like, nothing going on here.
Nothing going on.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
So here's the deal. And he's also denying any allegation of impropriety. The problem is she is a reporter for The Athletic, or was, and the Athletic's editorial guidelines say journalists should avoid even the appearance of a conflict of interest because that would undermine their credibility and authority as.
Let me tell you why The Athletic is mad. The Athletic is mad is because when the first set of photos came out, she went to them and said, this isn't true. The Athletic put out a statement defending Diana Rossini.
Yes.
And then the craftiness of them, they put out more photos afterwards. Yeah. And the Athletic got caught looking bad.
Yeah, and they had no choice but to, either she was going to resign or they're going to fire her.
253 texts in, says, Diana Rossini resigned. She wasn't fired.
Yeah, she did. I don't think she had a choice because she would have been fired. And in fact, in my opinion, the Athletic had every right to fire her if she didn't resign.
But I just want to make sure that the facts were right. I said she resigned. Don't know if she was going to get fired.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, the Seattle City Council voted to spend some money. Next, Gee and Ursula.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's 2 types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Jazz Alley invites you to witness a generational talent celebrate two icons. Pianist Emmett Cohen presents Miles and Coltrane at 100. Shows run April 16th through 19th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, the Bad Plus Farewell Tour.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Steve Kathan. President Trump says China has agreed not to provide weapons to Iran, as reports suggest Beijing has considered helping Tehran. Meantime, officials in the region are working to extend the ceasefire and jumpstart negotiations. CBS's Imtiaz Tayyab.
From the Pakistani point of view is that they're trying to build a coalition of allies of the U.S. and indeed countries who can talk to Iran to try to get these two sides together and try to negotiate a deal which will not only end the war, but solve many of the really deep-seated issues that divide the U.S. and Iran.
U.S. military says it stopped 9 ships in the first 2 days of the blockade on Iran. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer keeping tabs on the Strait of Hormuz.
It's very hard to get a clear picture of the ship traffic through the straits, partly because some of the ships are turning off their transponders, their beacons that broadcast their identity to satellites and other ships.
This man in Wisconsin went through it along with thousands of others in several Midwestern states. Dangerous weather.
All of a sudden the wind picked up. I go run out the front door and the wind's just going sideways. And it's like, whoo! I'm like, holy.
Strong winds, tornadoes, large hail, flooding in some places. CBS's Usher Qureshi is in the Milwaukee area.
We can see trees snapped, roofs damaged, and crews are here working to clear debris. Now, overnight, strong storms pushed through parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois, bringing large hail, damaging winds, and reported tornadoes. Now, according to the National Weather Service, some of those wind gusts topped 60 miles per hour.
State lawmakers in Maine have approved the nation's first statewide ban on large data centers.
The move is part of a growing backlash to the energy-intensive facilities that fuel the rise of artificial intelligence. Democratic State Representative Melanie Sachs.
The reason for the temporary limitation is to make sure that the transparency that communities need, that the regulatory framework for these businesses is known and certain.
The measure would block creation of new data centers until a process is in place to study their impact on Maine's electrical grid. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
A new analysis finds growing concern about how AI may be reinforcing its own biases. Our tech contributor, Ian Scher.
The research shows that at least in some cases, even innocuous information like a favorite animal that's shared with an AI could leak from user to user and thus impact their experiences using these tools.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 190. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Carol came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Just ahead, the latest on a West Seattle encampment sweep this morning. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic slowdown still concentrated on northbound routes pushing into Seattle. So you have Renton to Seattle running 7 minutes over average. That's 29 minutes versus a typical 22. Federal Way to Bellevue and South Center to Bellevue, each running about 4 minutes heavy. I'm seeing the typical choke points right through Renton. You know exactly where I'm talking about. Southbound from the north end, though, in great shape. Linwood to Seattle, just 26 minutes versus a typical 45-minute average. And Linwood to Bellevue on 405 will save you 16 minutes from the typical time of 53 minutes. It's now just 38 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm John Repp. Dozens of city workers moved in at about 8:30 this morning to clear away a homeless encampment at Totem Pole Park in West Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Neighbors say this encampment that sits next to the West Seattle Golf Course has been the epicenter for crime, violence, and drug abuse that spills into the greater community. Some campers, like Aiden, say they have called this camp home for several weeks now and face an even more uncertain future.
We're just getting our stuff to the sidewalk so that they don't throw it away. And from there, we just kind of sleep wherever we fall asleep, I guess.
Fortunately, the city also has workers here to assist campers if they want help. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former Pierce County Sheriff's Office major is behind bars this morning, pleading guilty to a DUI crash that hurt an 8-year-old boy, his mother, and grandmother. KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon reports Chadwick Dickerson was off duty when the crash happened last July. He was allowed to leave the scene and refused a field sobriety test.
Right now, Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank is promising change. An internal investigation revealed missteps by deputies when they responded to this crash. Those deputies either turned off or didn't activate their body cameras, violating Pierce County Sheriff policies.
A jury has convicted an Arlington man of second-degree murder in a 2024 Lake Stevens killing. 58-year-old Mark Downey found guilty in the death of 37-year-old Katie McQueen of Mariposa, California. Investigators say the two did not know each other before the stabbing. Downey scheduled to be sentenced in June. Today, of course, is tax day, but if you live in King, Pierce, Snohomish, or Skagit counties, you have a little extra time. The IRS is giving taxpayers in 16 Washington counties until May 1st to file those federal returns and make payments because of all the storms, flooding, landslides that hit the region late last year. KIRO News Radio weather. Scattered showers today. Thunderstorms in the afternoon, the high of 49 degrees. Still a little bit breezy, but not as bad as yesterday. Mostly sunny on Thursday. The clouds clearing away and warmer, the high 56. And that warming trend continues into the weekend with the high of 63 and partly cloudy skies. Currently in downtown Seattle, 41 degrees and light rain. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Coming up at 10:30, do you know people in your life who always seem to be in crisis or everything is a crisis? Or are you that person? The reason we're asking about this is you might be catastrophizing everything, and there is a way to stop it. I'm a firm believer that there are just people who love to live in chaos, constant chaos and drama. But we're going to talk about that coming up at 10:30. We are going to share the Josh Naylor story because I think it's one of my favorite of the day. Text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
All right. What you got for us, Ursula?
What's new at 10?
Well, when was the last time you went to a library? Your public library? And the reason I'm asking that is because in Seattle, voters are going to be heading back to the ballot box, and this time it's about the neighborhood library. Specifically, the city council has approved a nearly $480 million levy to fund public libraries for the next 7 years. So, of course, this is going to mean higher property taxes. The Seattle Times puts the estimate for the average homeowner to about $160 additionally each year. Supporters say this is essential. We need to prioritize library services. A lot of the money is going to basically go to maintenance needs. But critics, including one member of the Seattle City Council, say this is too much and unnecessary. And in fact, I was just reading through the Seattle Times story, and it was saying that initially Mayor Wilson had proposed a lower amount, and the City Council came back and went with a higher amount. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how important would it be, and how likely would you be to say yes to additional taxes to save or to maintain your local library?
Well, I was sitting here before this segment, and I was thinking, okay, for me, I don't go to the library. The last time I've been to the library has been years. That's one. And then I started to think about, I was saying, like, the importance of the library. And I thought, what kind of thinking is that? Is that 2026 thinking on the library? Or is that 1996 thinking on the library? Or maybe early days of the internet and people maybe couldn't afford, Wi-Fi and all those things, so you had to go to the library. And the library being a very peaceful place for someone, maybe you live in a household where it's very noisy, and so you need to go to the library where you need some peace. So I would think that in 2026, the need for the library is less today than ever. And I also believe it's going to decrease as time goes on. Because
everything is on the internet or everything is in your phone, is basically your argument, right? And I tend to agree with you, but I live with somebody who goes to the library. He doesn't spend time in the library, but Mark is very regular about putting books on hold. So he doesn't have to buy the book. He actually he'll just pick it up at the library, and then he kind of goes through. He's always reading these books, so we haven't had to make a trip to Barnes and Noble. He actually still enjoys reading the physical book. Yeah. For some people, it is a place to have access to computers, et cetera. That's not our situation. When our kids were younger, Grandma used to take them to the library because she was also a former librarian. And I love the idea of the library, but I understand what you're saying. Like, do people have a passion about their local library anymore? Right. Are you willing to continue to pay more in property taxes?
Well, let's be real. You just said that your husband goes and he goes there to get books to read.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now. Presently, I don't know anyone in my life that goes to the library just for books. Now, maybe you all have a bunch of people in your life. Ursula, you obviously have one. I think I would say less than 1% of the population, unless it's a school going there for a field trip or something like that. Nobody's really doing that. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm off. Mm-hmm. So I guess my point is,
text us.
This money, y'all need to drop that. That's too much money.
Well, funny enough, I agree with you. I think it is too much money. We're just constantly hitting the taxpayers over and over again. So I think my husband and I are going to end up canceling each other's votes. Because in my mind, if they were going to go for an amount, it should have been the lower amount. Like right now is not the time to be hitting up people and saying you need to pay more in your property taxes. Because, there's even a cap on that, and we're getting close to the cap.
Sophia, any of you and your friends go to the library?
Yeah. My household, we do go to the library. We do pick up books from the library. Now, I think we are a little bit out of the norm because we do all regularly read. We have book clubs, and so we're like, let's check library to see if the book's at the book club. But the thing that upsets me about this conversation, and I get people, the library was never a huge popular thing for a lot of people. If you don't read, you don't read. Right? Maybe you went to it to access the computer in the early 2000s. But
no, the library used to be a popular thing.
Well, sure. Okay. But I think that the thing about the library that would be just sad if we let it dissolve is it is still one of the only places that is accessible for all.
Agree.
Like, no matter who you are, no matter your source of income, you don't have to prove anything. People have so many conversations about things that get politicized about who is worthy to get access to what resources. None of that matters. You go to the library and you get it for free. People can get National Park Pass access. You can get access to online books. I heard people say in certain counties too, like when people are doing their taxes, you could get tax help at the library, things like that people aren't even fully aware of. Mm-hmm. But it's accessible. It's a resource that is for everyone.
I think you make a fantastic point.
So that's a great point, and maybe I'm outdated, but I'll just counter your point with people read less today than ever.
But
a lot of folks ain't reading a book.
But it's not even about reading.
Well, Emily in Kirkland says the libraries are worth their weight in gold for the printers alone. Lisa in Bellevue says, my daughter regularly checks out books from the library. She lives in Seattle, but she works for a nonprofit and can't afford an increase of this type in her property taxes. Mm-hmm. That's just it. library is important, but why do we have to just keep jacking up our taxes?
Well, hey, you know what? I ain't here to please everybody.
I hear you, G. I hear you.
I'm saying cut the money. Now,
I hear you.
If y'all mad at me, cool. What's next?
Okay. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
If you accidentally got a $10,000 check in the mail, you know it was meant for somebody else, but you got this $10,000 check. Times are tough right now. Are you going to cash it? And the reason I ask this is because this actually happened to a couple in Olympia, and they cashed it. And according to court documents, the couple got this check. It was a mistake by the health department, and it was intended for a nonprofit. They washed the check and changed the name, putting their own names on that check, keeping the address and the amount the same. So now they're up for a forgery and a second-degree theft charge. And, you know, obviously, I want to ask the question, if you were in the same position, I just don't understand how someone could be so dumb to think, I'm going to get away with this because this $10,000 landed here. I know it's not mine, but hey, I'm going to go cash it anyway.
Yeah, that's just this word called desperation that happens sometimes with people. I'm not justifying it. I'm not justifying it at all. Just know that if you do something like that, it's sure. If a check were to come to my house right now for $10,000, no, I wouldn't cash it. And most people, I would love to tell you that I would never have cashed it. There's two things that stand out to me. One, now you see what happens. They did this in November of 2024. They didn't get charged until March of 2026. So they probably thought they got away with it. So that part is rough because now you're going to have some charges on you. The second thing is how in the world did a public health check for 10 G's, 10 grand, get sent to the wrong address in the first place? So I'll just say this.
Remember what we talked about with the King County Council member? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were asking, how does that happen? When you got a lot of money and you're going through a lot of money,
Yeah.
sometimes they're not careful.
So, yeah, I will say this. Right now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm justifying it, because the question word is how can someone do that? And I'm saying that desperation out of people sometimes have you doing dumb things. Maybe when you're desperate, you've never done anything like this. But I'd argue when you were, and if you were ever desperate, you've done something dumb that you have in your mind right now, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. So, dumb situation, don't do it.
Well, and, okay, let's even come up with a different scenario. I mean, it doesn't happen, but it's often, but every once in a while, you know, let's say a bank makes a mistake. Are you going to be the one who lets the bank know, this deposit, the check was misread, and you know, there's $1,000 additionally? Or are you waiting for the bank to realize the mistake?
Today, I let them know. Again, I'm answering these things. Now, one more thing, and I was trying to think about what this couple was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and it went to a nonprofit. This $10,000 was earmarked for a nonprofit. So I'm probably wondering, like, what was their justification? Maybe they thought in their minds, well, it's not technically to someone, or it could be this. I don't know this name. I don't know if that's a person, but it says to a nonprofit for services. So maybe they thought that they would just get away because it was a check from the Department of Health, and they thought, man, they send checks and mismanage money all the time. Let me just go ahead and get away with this, and maybe they won't know.
But the fact that they actually washed the check, and Mac and Bellevue, our law enforcement friend, says, yeah, you know, they went as far as modifying the check. It's not like it was even in her name.
Yeah.
So it was very intentional there. So dumb move.
Yeah.
And now you'll pay for it. Okay. I wanted to talk about this Josh Naylor story because he was already a fan favorite going in, right? But here comes something that has nothing to do with the score or the Mariners' record. So before Monday's game, Josh Naylor handed over a pair of his custom cleats. And so these are not just any cleats, but one styled after Air Jordan top 3 sneakers. I'm not a sneakerhead, but can you tell me are those really cool shoes?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but this was given to a fan as a wedding gift. And he just heard that this fan was getting married and decided to make the moment unforgettable. And according to the Seattle Times, the fan had reached out hoping just to meet him. But instead, he walked away with autographed cleats and a personal message wishing him luck in marriage. And when asked about it, Josh Naylor says, it's those small acts, making someone smile, that can ripple outward. He says, you make one person's day, then they make someone else's day, and suddenly you have something a lot bigger than just baseball. And I think because the baseball gods have a sense of timing, Naylor also had an amazing showing on the field that night.
Center field. Back. He's got another one. Josh Naylor has homered on back-to-back pitches. His second of the day.
One other thing he said is that Mariners fans have had his back even when he struggled, yelling encouragement from the stands when he needed it most. And so this whole sneaker thing, he said, it's his way, just one of his ways of giving it back.
Yeah. Love this. And Josh Naylor, you just went up to being my favorite. And you know what, Ursula, it's not just about the cleats, right? It's not the cleats, because the thing is that here is someone who puts value in the feeling that it gives for someone, right? So he can get a pair of cleats all the time. So you think like, oh, no big deal. Yes, it is. This is why it's a big deal. How come we don't hear these stories all the time? How come we don't hear these stories all the time of players leaving the field after a professional game and handing their cleats off to kids? And to which Josh Naylor says he loves that opportunity to make someone feel really good. I mean, think about that. Still to this day, Lee Smith was a relief pitcher for the Chicago Cubs years ago, and he had just finished warming up. And I said, Mr. Smith. And he comes over and he hands me the ball. Mm-hmm. Now, some of you guys are like, well, who is Lee Smith? Well, he was a big deal in Chicago back in the day. I'll never forget that a day in my life. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest sports moments of my life. So for these young folks being able to get cleats, come on, Josh Naylor, you're my favorite now.
I think it's cool. And now, plus, the Mariners are, we don't need to talk about losing streaks anymore, right, Nick?
Well, they lost last night.
They lost last night. Yeah, they lost
Darn
last
it.
night.
They had a good run. I mean, they still have a chance to win the series. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, anyways, very good topics. But you know what I'm glad of, though? I'm glad that, Ursula, you brought up the $10,000 check. And here's why. Because I get to now look at all the text messages saying to people, they're saying, hey, don't justify this. And I just want to make sure we keep that same energy.
Yes.
When there's millions of dollars.
So true.
You know what I mean? When
true.
When folks are enriching their families with millions, keep that same energy because, you shouldn't justify criminal behavior, huh?
No. And to be very, very clear, both you and I landed on, this was a dumb move.
Dumb move.
And, yeah, exactly. Angela Russell, though, just texted in and said she had $10,000 deposited in her account when she was in her 20s. Without even asking her, okay, so what happened? I know that money went back.
Okay. All right. Let's just say you go, well, first, I'll say this. Some people, you would know this $10,000. What if all of a sudden you go to balance your checkbook and you look at your account, Ursula, and there's $1,100 extra in there and you don't understand where it came from? Would you go to the bank right away and say, hey, can you help me understand where this $1,100 comes from?
If I truly worked through it and can't figure it out, yes.
Well,
would you?
Today, yes. Today, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
when you're living in your car, maybe not.
Hey, Angela Russell had $10,000 in her check. Glad that didn't happen to me. was minding my business. Do. All of a sudden, $10,000 in my account. What am I supposed to do? All right, Ursula. Hey, coming up at 10:30, are you someone that's always in crisis mode? Or do you always have or know of that person in your life that sends you a text message and it's always something? We talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
Congratulations to KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger and digital content producer Patrick Janasek, nominated for a Northwest Emmy Award for investigative reporting.
It began with a question from the community. It seemed almost too stunning to be true.
KIRO News Radio is honored to be the only radio station nominated for the prestigious Emmy Award as part of our commitment to impactful storytelling across every platform, reaching into the communities we serve on KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
If a new car is in your future, do what I have done and start at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. I'll tell you why I keep going back to them. It's not just their great cars, it's how they treat people. Like family. No pressure, no games, just real conversations and real value for your hard-earned money. And Carter Subaru is not just in the community, they invest in it, and that truly matters to me. And when we're talking about selection, no one beats Carter Subaru. They have over 700 vehicles in stock. It's the largest selection in our state, so you're not settling. You are choosing what you want, and right now the deals are strong. For example, the 2026 Crosstrek starting at just 1.9% APR for 36 months. So yeah, there's so many reasons you see so many Carter Subaru license plate frames all over Western Washington, because once people go there, they tend to stick with them, just like me. Carter Subaru in Ballard, in Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/26.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive. That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app. Upside? Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive. Does that actually add up to anything? Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code STATION for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STATION for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's STATION.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Trying to figure out assisted living for a parent or a loved one while life keeps moving full speed? It's tough. Hey, it's Spike O'Neill. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living. These are luxury communities, resort-style amenities. Voted best of Western Washington and ranked #1 senior living community in all of America for 2025 by Seniorly. Go to aegisliving.com/spike, schedule a visit, and get a special take-home gift. And when you take the tour, don't be surprised if you turn to whoever's with you and say, this must be the place, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Hilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
If you own rental property in Washington, you probably already know it's not what it used to be. Rising property taxes, increased maintenance costs, and some of the most onerous landlord-tenant regulations in the country. At some point, many landlords ask the question, is this still worth it? Brian Evans, CEO of Madrona Financial and CPAs, is hosting a live interactive workshop called Landlord Exit Strategies. In this seminar, he'll break down the impact of today's regulations, strategies that may allow you to defer and potentially reduce taxes, and how the Delaware Statutory Trust may help. It's a straightforward conversation about your options, before you make a costly decision. To register or learn more, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. Be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm John Repp. President Trump says the war with Iran will be over very soon. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports from the White House.
The president says of the war, quote, "I think it's close to over," unquote. In an interview on Fox Business, Trump also said in his words, "I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and we're not finished. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal very badly," unquote. The president also said China's President Xi will not be sending weapons to Iran, saying he wrote him a letter asking him not to do that, and Xi wrote back saying he's not doing that. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Late season snow in the mountains means unpredictable driving, and the Department of Transportation's Summer Dairy says they're ready for it on the passes.
Crews will be out in tandem with their snow plows, pushing the snow off the roadway.
WashDOT's plows and road crews are only part of the solution. The other part is making sure drivers heading through the pass take it slow and have their cars in working condition.
And we do have some slush and some wet snow at Stevens Pass currently. That's KIRO 7 reporter Jack Bilyeu. Today is tax day, and the new regional head of the U.S. Small Business Administration says many taxpayers are seeing larger refunds.
Kelly Chambers is the SBA administrator for Region 10, which covers Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska.
Taxpayers, their refunds are up 11% over last year, and that's real money.
She tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM because of the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, also known as President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, the average family is saving about $7,000 to $10,000. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And we've been talking about it this morning, but Seattle City Council voted yesterday to put that nearly $480 million library levy on the August ballot. It needs a simple majority to pass. The money would maintain library hours, boost security, and pay for building upkeep. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 169 points. The S&P 500 is up 32, and the NASDAQ is up sharply at 239 points. KIRO News Radio traffic. Delays this morning, all pointing in one direction, and that's northbound into Seattle. SeaTac to Seattle, the worst of the bunch. You're looking at 24 minutes versus a typical 15 commute. If you're heading from Federal Way towards Bellevue, that's a similar story. Federal Way to Bellevue is 7 minutes over the average. It takes you 32 minutes. And now on the flip side, southbound from the north end is wide open. Linwood to Bellevue on 405, 18 minutes versus a 34-minute average. Linwood to Seattle running 10 minutes faster than normal at 24 minutes. Traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. Taking a look at your weather forecast, some scattered showers today, cloudy skies, of course, and then thunderstorms in the afternoon. Breezy winds up to 10 miles an hour, but not as bad as yesterday. And then mostly sunny tomorrow, the high 56. Heading into the weekend, skies look more or less clear until you get to Sunday, and then maybe some more rain creeping in again. Currently in downtown Seattle, 40 degrees and light rain. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. It is 10:34 on this Wednesday morning. Hey, just a reminder, because we're choosing joy, and tomorrow night is going to be the first 8 p.m. sunset of the year. I'm already feeling it in my bones. We're turning the corner, G. We're turning the corner. Yeah, the weather is not great right now, but I think we're going to get back to some beautiful days here soon, I hope. But here's a question for you. Do you have someone in your life who everything is a disaster, everything is a catastrophe, everything? Yes, we do. Yeah. Or sometimes are you guilty of it? And the reason I ask that is because, let's say, here's an example, and this is one that Sophia has provided. It's 5:40 in the afternoon, and you are used to your spouse walking in at 5:25. Do you, A, think to yourself, it must be traffic, or B, start to Google car crashes in your area? Okay, I've never been that person, B. But if you know that your brain is going to go to option B, you're not alone. And there is a term for it, and it's called catastrophizing. And it's so when even the smallest worries spiral into full-blown disaster thinking. And experts say in The Guardian that it's a built-in survival instinct, but when it goes too far, it can actually cause some serious anxiety, stress, and bad decisions. And I'm trying to think of, in my own experience, when I'm guilty of this, and maybe you can relate to this too. I think it's worst when it comes to health issues. For example, if you have, I recently ended up having cellulitis, but when I first wasn't sure of what it was, I mean, it turned out it was very serious. But, if you have headaches, and then now suddenly you're Googling brain tumor. I don't know if that is something that you do. A lot of people do, WebMD, and suddenly think that the worst is happening.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I understand it. I understood it from an early age when I was in school and living with other people that went to the same school. I would see people just stressed about the exam they're getting ready to take the next day, and they'd be so stressed out. Like I have a particular specific story. I saw a kid stress out so bad because he was worrying about the test that he had to go to the infirmary, and he never took the test. Like, there's so many people that just spiral out of control with worry. And the worry oftentimes is worse than what actually happens. Yes, I do know people in my life that is always them. Just got a text message in a family group chat probably about 30 minutes ago. Same person. So it just happens that way. I try, and by the way, Ursula, I'm not perfect. There's times that I might be stressing. I stress out about something. But for the most part, I try to go with a glass half full on most topics, situations. Choose joy.
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
But I will say, as someone who has continues to deal with anxiety, I mean, there was a time when I shared that when I was news director and was working so many ridiculous hours and just dealing with the daily stresses, trying to manage up, manage down, all of it. And I got hauled out in a stretcher. Everyone thought I was having a heart attack. As it turned out, it was an anxiety attack. It was the first of a couple that I had, and I realized I need help. I mean, so it's one thing to catastrophize and be that worrier, But if it becomes something that is actually paralyzing or is something that is affecting your daily life, there is help for that. So I want to assure people of that because I have not had one of those episodes in a long time. I got help for it. I have been able to manage it. I continue to work in what I would argue is a stressful job in that we have to deal with stressful topics on a daily basis. And the good news is experts actually say you can break the cycle. And sometimes all it takes is doing reality checks. Like you were talking about that kid who was so freaked out about the test that the thing was actually not as bad as the episode leading up to it. So, you can separate your thoughts from facts. You can even give yourself, okay, I'm going to worry about this right now, but after this amount of time, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to give myself a chance to stress about it. But then the other thing that I would say, there are some people who just thrive on chaos and want others to feel that same kind of chaos.
Some people make money off of it.
This is true. And I think that's just something that, we all can do a better job of asking ourselves, hey, what kind of impact am I having around others, here at my workplace or here at home when I'm always bringing up the drama. And sometimes you have to do a reality check of yourself.
So here's my question back to everyone else. Let's just say, and if you don't have anyone in your life, maybe it's you. But let's just say you do have someone in your life that is just always woe is me, negative Nancy, all the time. Question, do you say something to them or do you just mind your business?
I will say that when, amongst my friends who tend to be that way, and a lot of times they'll say, oh, I know, I apologize for bringing you all my blah, 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 and I don't try to downplay it. I don't try to, the thing when someone is dealing with stress and if they actually have an anxiety disorder, the last thing that you can do, the last thing you should do is try to minimize you're just making a big deal out of nothing, or stop stressing out, or stop panicking. Because that only exacerbates it. So that only makes it worse. So what it would do is
the negative
listen.
Nancy, right?
Yeah. So negative Nancy, listen, and then just try to help them go through the process of, hey, let's do a reality check. Is it really going to be that bad? A lot of times I'll say, what is the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that could happen if your computer shuts down in the middle of a newscast? I used to think about that, like when I would anchor the news. Like, what if everything went away? Well, one day it did. And you know what? I survived.
But then they call you back tomorrow with another problem. Or they text you another
then
day.
you need to let them know that, just like gently tell them, hey, you know what? Again, I'm here to...
I mind my business.
You mind your business?
I mind my business. Let them keep... It is what it is. They ain't going to change them. You might not get me to acknowledge that text message.
Yeah.
Because I see them all the time.
Yes.
5, 7, 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Maria in Bellevue says cognitive behavioral therapy, which is otherwise known as CBT, has excellent tools for this. That's true, too.
Coming up next, scenarios.
The John Curley Show.
If by the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Nobody should drink and drive. It's dangerous. DUI Heroes cares for their clients as people, individuals who have made that mistake. If you or someone you know made the unfortunate mistake of driving under the influence and was pulled over for DUI, DUI Heroes will hear you and they will understand you. They represent you and defend the person, helping you get your life back together. I know Jonathan and his team. They're wonderful people and exceptional at what they do. DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. From native fir trees in your backyard to a thriving patch of flowers or a walk through your local arboretum, Sky Nursery supports your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Visit skynursery.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Let's get 2 scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Maybe I'm getting old, but I don't get why people have to spell their names in a weird way. Is it just to stand out and get attention? What's going on with Melanie having to be spelled Mellonnie? Now it's affecting me, and I don't know if it's just my problem. My daughter is one of them. Her name is Angela. We call her Angie. She just announced she wants to be called Angelica, and it's spelled Aunjellica. And she wants to change the official spelling of her name. I don't get it. I mean, it's probably not a big deal, but it's driving me crazy, and I feel hurt and even angry at her for wanting to do it. How should I respond to this? 888-973-5476 is the Muckshroot Casino Resort text line. Ursula, you up to bat first.
I think you should respond by taking a chill pill.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're getting too worked up over something that really has very little bearing on your life.
Mm-hmm.
With every other problem going on in the world, that this is one that keeps you up at night.
Right.
I know of quite a few people who've named their kids what would be considered common names, but change the spelling a little bit. And perhaps you can even look at my example. I have a Stephen and an Eric. Do you know how many times those two simple names are misspelled? Because I spelled Stephen with a PH and Eric with a K.
Right.
So that even gets messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that for a lot of people, their name is their identity. And if Angie wants to be Angelica and spell it different, it's because she's probably tired of having 18 Angies. And she wants to stand out a little bit, and that's her prerogative.
Yeah.
And if you have an issue with it, it is a you problem.
Yeah. My sister hates to be called Kim. She can't stand it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So she wants to be Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Okay.
Yeah. Kimberly all the way. Don't mess it up.
And you have a nickname.
Yeah. I mean.
And you have a different name. You know, my brother, as an adult, changed his name. Remember I told you his name was Rolf? Like, go from, that's a German name, and he comes to America where it's another word for vomit. Like, do you know how much he was ridiculed for that name?
Did he really change his name?
Yes, he became Eric.
Oh.
Which is his middle name. He went by his middle name.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, people, I think this person's too worked up over different names.
You know what? Text in, y'all. I'm curious. Have you changed your name? What do you got there?
Yeah,
Sophia?
no, this scenario has got to be one of the silliest ones we've had in a while. I was like, man, he is just upset about. He's just so sick of seeing every McKaylee Lee and every misspelling, and he's over it. And I get it. But my question would be, is how old is his daughter? Because if she's an adult, like, you can be annoyed. But like, if she wants to go by Angelica, like if she watched a lot of Hamilton and that's how she feels, like, let her be. But if she's a kid, it could also just be her like wanting to play around and like go by something different. It's just silly. We have different issues.
I will say this: if Baby G wanted to change his name, I'd be hurt. I don't know. I look, as a parent. As a
I
parent,
understand that too. Though. I understand.
I'm keeping
that.
a buck.
Well,
you know
especially because it's also your name and it's a family name. Was it your dad's name as well?
No, it's my uncle.
Your uncle's name.
My uncle's name. Yeah.
So it's a family name, and I understand you'd be hurt, but would you get over it?
Do you? I don't know if you ever get over it.
in this case, it wasn't. The funny thing is, so when our second son was, close to being born, we were debating, and I wanted him to be Christian Eric. Yeah. And Mark was like, nope, we're making it Eric Christian. And so when Eric was finally old enough to give us his opinion, he's like, I'm glad Dad won.
If the mama named him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay. You ready, Nick?
Yeah, it looks like not anyone can control what their name is or how to spell it. Granted, you can have a nickname or shorten your real one like I do, being the full thing is Nicholas for me. But I've even gotten misspellings for the full name I've got. Does it bother me? No, not at all. And if you're going to work yourself up on how to spell, I don't know, Angela, Maurice, Donovan, even our friend Cletus, you're just going to drive yourself crazy at the end. Call them what you want, spell it however way. 9 out of 10 times the name holder, they're going to understand you not knowing, and they're not going to bring you down at all.
Okay, I got a question though. So she's upset. Was it Melody? Okay, what was the name again?
Melanie.
Melanie.
Spelled Melloni.
Okay, so if you're irritated, are you going to continue calling the person by the original name and not respect that they wanted it changed?
You better I would respect it. But look,
because there are people who are petty and they're just like, nope, I'm not going with it. I'm not for that. I'm just going to call you your God-given name.
And that's a whole other thing.
I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud, Ursula. And I don't know if I should say this, but in the black family, in our family, boy, this names are spelled in a special way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, and why is that though?
I don't know, but
because
when you get names, it's locked in. Like we don't call you your government name at all.
Yeah.
your government name is gone. We call you if at the table you were a monster, the uncle start calling you monster, it's monster for the rest of your life. And here you are, a 37-year-old woman, and they call you monster in the family.
That street name will stick more than your birth name.
Really? I mean, we'll have fun with it.
It's so funny though. When I tried calling your son, I was like, okay, do you want to be called G Jr.? He's like, no, you can keep calling me Baby G.
See?
So I tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the family calls him Baby G. It doesn't stop. All right. Coming up next at 11 o'clock hour,
Listen. We talked about it. I'm just saving paper.
Well, Luke Ducey is going to come on and join us, and he needs to talk about potentially more money being spent towards something here in Seattle. We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander, JSN.
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The John Curley Show.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
The 1,500-pounder, baby. I know somebody who knows a guy who got me the seed.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
If you've lived in the Northwest for more than 5 minutes, you already know the Subaru Outback. It's the car I drive, and I bought it at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Ursula Reutin here. right now, the 2026 Subaru Outback comes with 3.9% APR financing. It's the perfect car for Pacific Northwest driving. Visit Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability, a documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/26.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says the war with Iran will be over very soon. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The president says of the war, quote, I think it's close to over, unquote. In an interview on Fox Business, Trump also said in his words, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and we're not finished. We'll see what happens. I think they want to make a deal very badly, unquote. The president also said China's President Xi will not be sending weapons to Iran, saying he wrote him a letter asking him not to do that, and Xi wrote back saying he's not doing that. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Aid groups are raising alarms over how the war with Iran is affecting other humanitarian crises around the world. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Sudan is dealing with its third year of civil war, and Bob Kitchen at the International Rescue Committee says
34 million people in Sudan, that's nearly 2/3 of the population, are in urgent need of humanitarian aid.
He says the battle over the Strait of Hormuz is blocking desperately needed medicine from getting out of Dubai.
It's become worse because of this war.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Hail as big as 4 inches in diameter hit Sun Prairie, Wisconsin yesterday near Madison, where this woman lives.
It was incredibly loud. It was just banging. And we've heard hail before, and it just kind of pops, but this was banging. This was like somebody throwing rocks at the house.
It was part of a massive storm system from the Midwest down to Texas, and the threat remains today. A key surveillance authority, the spy tool known as Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, faces major obstacles in the House. CBS's Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill.
That legislation is due to expire next week, and a lot of security experts have warned that a lapse could be very troubling and harmful, particularly as we still remain engaged in this war in Iran. So that is why the CIA director was up here on Capitol Hill trying to get Republicans to rally around a clean extension of this legislation, at least for a year.
Opponents from both parties worry that Section 702 allows feds to look at Americans' communications without a search warrant. It's tax day, and if you're not able to finish on time, you can file for an extension. However, CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger warns,
when you get an extension, that is a 6-month extra period of time so that you can prepare your returns. But under the IRS rules, you still have to make sure you've paid what you think you owe. Otherwise, you could be subject to penalties, and who wants that?
Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. The Dow is down 117 points, NASDAQ up 249. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Coming up, an arrest after a deadly shooting in Puyallup. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic, the same trouble spots showing up, but they're not huge trouble spots. Northbound into Seattle from the south end. So we're talking Renton to Linwood on I-5. The biggest gap right now, it's 45 minutes versus a typical 34, but that is by far the biggest slow, behind schedule commute that we are seeing throughout the morning. Renton to Bellevue, also 4 minutes over, and Renton to Linwood on 405 running 3 over. The whole corridor is sluggish there. But the good news, southbound from the north end continues to cruise. Linwood to Renton on I-5 is just 32 minutes against a 41-minute average. Linwood to Bellevue, Everett to Bellevue, both running 6 minutes faster than normal. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. An arrest after a deadly shooting outside townhomes in the Puyallup area earlier this week.
I wanted to update the public and let you know that we have a 24-year-old male in custody now.
That's Deputy Carly Capetto with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. She says the man turned himself in last night in Seattle. The victim, a 37-year-old male who was shot and killed early in the morning of April 12th. No word yet on a motive for the shooting. The city of Seattle is clearing away another homeless encampment, this time in West Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The encampment sits in Totem Pole Park near the West Seattle Golf Course. Neighbors say the encampment is the source of crime, drugs, and violence and has been an ongoing problem on and off for several years. Seattle City Council member Rob Saka represents the area.
It's public safety related, it's public health related now with an overdose death. The situation there is totally out of hand.
The goal, not only to clear the camp and protect the neighborhood, but also to make sure those who want to come inside have an opportunity to do so. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former major with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office is in jail for a DUI crash.
Chad Dickerson was sentenced to 3 months in jail and 12 months of community custody for crashing into another car. And we've been tracking this story since this happened last July. Dickerson was off duty at the time. Dickerson hit an SUV with a family of 6 people inside.
That's KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon. When it comes to your power bill, the good news is that you're paying less than the national average. Bad news is that your rates are going up. Axios is reporting the average bill $125 a month in King County against the national average of $158. However, Seattle City Light and Puget Sound Energy both planning rate hikes. Utilities say that clean energy investments and higher wholesale power costs are to blame. KIRO News Radio weather. Looking at some scattered showers throughout the day today, and still a little bit chilly. Breezy as well, with winds topping out at 10 miles an hour and a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Mostly sunny tomorrow, though, and warming up. Winds just light, and then heading into the weekend, you'll see partly cloudy skies and even warmer temperatures, the high of around 63 degrees. Currently, it's 39 degrees and light rain in downtown Seattle. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to you. Grateful that you're hanging out with the show today. Means the world. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, coming up at 11:30, we are going to do Agree to Disagree, which is something that we always do at 11:30. I'm stalling a little bit because we are going to have our reporter Luke Ducey join us, but I think our request...
You didn't even have to tell the people you were stalling.
I know, but you know me. I like to be transparent. And I also wanted to make sure that he had some time to come in. But we've got a bunch of things that we are going to bring to you. But as always, you are an important part of our show. Mm-hmm. So Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
So we've already talked about the city of Seattle going to voters to ask to pay more for libraries. But we understand that the city council has been busy and there is a new plan in terms of tackling homelessness. And Luke Ducey is here to explain.
Yeah, City Council passed 2 ordinances just last night. So this makes a total of 4 that kind of are paving the way for Mayor Katie Wilson's plan to create 1,000 emergency shelter beds, or shelters, I should say, by the end of this year. This really goes a long way. 2 pieces aimed at supporting homeless in Seattle have been approved. One law now cuts red tape to open more shelter beds. The other reallocates millions of dollars, about 4.8, to support shelters and wraparound services. So it's not just creating the shelters. Now they have money to have supports in place as well. And I tell you, during yesterday's council meeting, during the public comment section, these ordinances, there were a lot of social workers who testified in favor of this. There was a representative from the Low Income Housing Institute as well. There were also people, though, like Alyssa, who shared a very personal story of homelessness that really seemed to move everyone in the room, including the council. She said she had been living in a tent with her husband for years. She had a brain tumor, and she needed that extra care, that wraparound care that she couldn't afford until she was offered a tiny house. I want you to listen to this.
I'm looking at the rain out there right now, and I remember that first week we were in the tiny house, and it started raining like it is right now. And I started crying because I wasn't cold and I wasn't wet. And I had a door that we could lock, and I felt safe in a bed. And it was the first time in a long time I felt that.
Yeah, pretty powerful. So diving a little deeper, that first ordinance they passed yesterday means the city's Finance and Administrative Services Department can now sign lease agreements directly with property owners to create shelter space. The second ordinance that they passed takes $4.8 million from existing city funds that they say are not really being used to support shelters, but also that wraparound care, what someone might need, whether that be from a wheelchair to mental health intervention to drug help with a drug addiction, et cetera. So again, big steps and a big win, I think, for Mayor Katie Wilson in this course.
Yeah, I agree. The wraparound services, that part is the biggest deal on that. Quick question: Was this expected? Did they think that it would be more or less? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think this was all expected, and I think if you would have asked them a few months ago or a month or two ago, I think they would have said, hey, we're all going to work together. City Council and the mayor's office, we're really looking forward to collective minds and working toward this. Let's see what we come up with. They obviously, this is the result of that work together and that collaboration, and here they are now, and both of these were passed unanimously. So it sounds like City Council and the mayor's office are on board together, working hand in hand, and they are definitely on a path forward when it comes to trying to help solve and make a dent in the homeless issue in this city.
Okay, so if we were to pull back a little bit, what is the bigger picture? So what is the mayor's plan and the city's plan to tackle homelessness different from the previous administration? So what is she proposing, and what will these ordinances allow for?
I think that the mayor's office would say what the differentiator is that she is taking action. Number one, I think she would say that I am actually on a path to reaching goals well and above and beyond previous administrations. What about, so that maybe speaks to the strategy, but tactically? Yeah.
I mean, is it based mostly on, for example, tiny homes or building additional tiny homes, or just shelter spaces?
A little bit of both. And it's also going to, when we talk about private leasing here, or opening up the idea that the city can now sign lease agreements directly, it cuts that red tape so they can look for, hey, let's think outside the box. It doesn't necessarily have to be for tiny homes, but let's figure out, let's get shelter space, maybe additional shelter space in other shelters. They've passed an ordinance that would allow that, but maybe there's an opportunity for us to build something else here from scratch on this ground that's not just a tiny home community, but maybe it's an actual building. You hear a lot of people on the streets, when they're trying to transition from a tent to some kind of home. They don't want a tiny home. They don't want to be in villages like that. They would much rather have an apartment. Because that really helps them transition to, really getting out of that vicious cycle, whether it be addiction, homelessness, to really, getting back on their feet and in the right direction.
And Luke, when you talk about wraparound services, what specifically are you talking about, and are they mandatory?
Mandatory? No. That's a great debate point that you brought up. That has been a debate with a lot of shelters that the city provides, that they have a lot of wraparound services, like here's help with addiction, here's help with whatever you need, fill in the blank. but perhaps it wasn't mandatory. If someone didn't want to take part in those, they didn't have to. A lot of people think that those should be mandatory, that you should be able to have to, go through that process. I will do this, though. Dan Strauss, a councilman who sponsored both of these bills, to answer your question about specifically what are some of those needs, I think he put it best.
Right now, we need the space for people who are in wheelchairs, people who have their partners, their pets, their things. We need 24/7 case management and medically assisted treatment in many places. And this higher level of care means that there's a higher financial cost.
Now, will $4.8 million cover all of that? To be seen. But those are some of the things that need to be tackled. And there is that debate. You're right, Ursula. Should those things be mandatory, that you must be in some kind of program for services, addiction, et cetera, to get those benefits or not? Yeah. That's a big debate.
Thanks, Luke. We appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Ursula, when Luke was talking about everything that is happening, and the only thing I could think of, first, I think, wraparound services, that's huge. That's a big deal. But there was a part of me that was listening to that, and I hope people realize and understand just how tough this situation is. Just because we've let this go for so long. And so we can't expect the mayor, Katie Wilson, and Seattle City Council to fix this overnight. And I'm saying that because, Ursula, even when I was unhoused, right, and I wasn't out there long, I wasn't chronically that situation. Luckily, I was in a car. But when I was given my living situation, somebody would say, okay, all you need is about a month and you're good. I wasn't fixed, and I didn't even have a drug problem. So I'm just trying to really explain, it really takes a while. It took a while for my mindset to get right. My mindset to just get ready to go on my own, and I needed help still. Not necessarily wraparound service, but
it's not an overnight.
It's not an overnight thing. Yeah. So I can't even put my head around someone with a drug addiction. Someone who, it's just way
You're
long.
right, and there is a lot of debate because we just got a text message from 425 saying a 34-year Seattle social worker here without a treatment first approach. None of this truly matters for most of the homeless and cognitively impaired on the streets. I know that there's a lot. It's either the housing first, it's the treatment. It's so complex, and we even talked about it yesterday. What do you do when there are people who don't want the help? But there are so many people who are desperate for the help. And, I think what they're doing is a great first step, but it is so complex.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, in our first hour, so there are two topics today in our show that got a lot of people going. One was this talk about increasing taxes to pay for libraries. I did not realize. Did you see how many people are passionate about their neighborhood libraries?
Look, so much so. But you know what, though? I want to just say that there was one listener that says, hey, I love your show. I don't have it in my head right now, but I'm going to paraphrase. I love your show, but I thought you guys were about the people that were, having hard times, and they went on to explain how important the library is for those types of folks. I want to say this. First, I'm not changing my opinion on the whole library thing. However, I do understand better listening and hearing from Sophia and seeing all the text messages.
Yes.
Like, you guys are very passionate about this.
Yes.
But the truth is, I don't think that there are as many people that are this passionate about the library. And to the point where I think that they should spend $480 million.
Yeah, even those who were very passionate about libraries were like, yeah, maybe not that bigger amount. I mean, it was already big to start with, and then the city council came back with a bigger amount when people are very strapped for cash and really can't afford much more in taxes. Okay, so the other thing that got people worked up was this discussion about requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote. And that is something that our state Republicans are once again pushing. And the idea is to show documents like a passport or a birth certificate once when you sign up to vote. And the supporters of this say this is about cleaning up the voter rolls. We want to remove people who've moved or died or shouldn't be registered in the first place. But those who are pushing back, including the Secretary of State's office, say there have only been 15 cases of non-citizen voting in Washington over more than 40 years. And they point out that the system already verifies identity before any ballot is counted. And you and I landed on the same side of the page when it came to what's more dangerous, taking out those few cases of voter fraud, the few proven cases of voter fraud, or disenfranchising and making it more difficult for many, many people to vote. Mm-hmm. And so we got a ton of people weighing in on this. And if you want to share some of them, Allison from Stillicum says, honestly, my least favorite thing to do is to stand in line anywhere with my 2 young kids. It is a miserable experience for everyone. If I didn't have mail-in voting, I'm honestly not sure I would be voting. Mm-hmm. Steve in downtown Seattle says, of course the fraud percentages could be grossly understated. Analogy is here. You think that the percentage of people speeding on roadways can be determined by how many drivers get speeding tickets? No. Of course the percentage of people speeding is much higher than the percentage of people who are caught speeding.
Okay. And to which I want to say, of course the President of the United States has been convicted of crimes, and of course he's committed a lot of crimes. However, there is a possibility that he has committed more crimes. We just haven't found out about them yet.
Okay. I'm not sure.
You're not sure what?
Yeah. So your point is obviously, yeah, all we can do is what we have with what has been proven. Correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
Like people just make these numbers. But the thing is, Ursula, the part that just makes me scratch my head, because sometimes facts don't matter. It's facts over feelings. And when you break down the numbers and the actual facts, they try to scurry around that by telling you, but there's stuff that you don't know of. Where? How do you know that?
I mean, and also remember, after looking into all of it and all the lawsuits that have been filed about this, courts have come back. Courts, including those presided by judges who were appointed by Trump, have come back and said no widespread voter fraud. The person who was in charge of election security during the first administration, no widespread voter fraud. The Heritage Foundation is a conservative think tank, the one behind Project 2025. They looked into it and looked into decades of it. No widespread voter fraud. So again, the question is, are we finding a solution in search of an actual, real, widespread problem?
Now, here is a text message, and yes, Trump, his wife, and his son did just recently vote by mail in the last election over there. But there is a text that came in. I wanted to read this one, and maybe you all know of someone in this situation. And they said, can we talk about how hard and difficult it is getting the enhanced ID? Example, when I became this last name, I proved it with marriage license. I got married. Now, for an enhance, I had to get birth certificate, divorce papers, and marriage all over again. All this because I have to show why my name is different than my birth name.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
exactly. I mean, that came right after we were talking about it the first time.
Right.
It's like, that's the exact example that they're talking about.
So,
it's not that easy for folks. I just went through it because if you haven't gotten, and what is it, 30% right now in Washington have the enhanced ID?
Right.
I just got mine about a month ago or a month and a half ago. And you have to have paperwork. I mean, you have to go through a lot of paperwork, and I get it. But again, there are already checks and balances in place when it comes to verifying who you are when you vote.
What percentage of people right now, if I said, hey, you need these documents by tomorrow, you need your Social Security card, you need your birth certificate, the correct with the seal on it and everything, right? You need that. How many people do you believe can just come right away and get all of that? Now, That includes if you've been divorced. You mean you have to show paperwork of, well, why is your last name different than your birth certificate? You got to show that.
Yep. Exactly.
It takes a while. So now we're going to prevent people from wanting to vote. We already, Ursula, you say it every election.
Every time. Yeah, every time.
Voter turnout.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Ursula. You did get your enhanced ID, right?
I did.
You got your enhanced ID, Sophia?
I have a passport.
You have a passport, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
passport.
exactly.
All right.
Yep.
Nick, you got your enhanced?
Oh, yeah. I've had it for like a decade or so.
Oh.
Well, you got it.
I'm not a
early.
enhanced guy.
A decade. Oh my goodness.
Jeez, I mean, it took a long time for this rollout.
Nick is an overachiever.
Yes, he is.
I'm out here traveling with like 3 different forms of identification in my bag. I'm trying to figure things out.
Can't even call it 7 o'clock. Hey, coming up next, it's time for Agree to Disagree. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency. But in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people. And you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967. Or Google NUNN. Nunn Better Tax Resolution.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Get out in the sun, get your hands in the soil. A little gardening goes a long way. Hi, I'm Sarah from Sky Nursery in Shoreline. April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. Whether it's native fir trees in your backyard, a thriving patch of flowers, or a walk through your local arboretum. Whatever your adventure, there is something beautiful to discover. Our purpose at Sky Nursery is to support you on your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Celebrate Earth Day, Arbor Day, and Native Plant Month with Sky Nursery. Garden tips and info at skynursery.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. We're getting word of 15,000 customers across San Juan County in the dark without power, according to Orcas Power and Light Cooperative. That includes San Juan, Lopez, and Orcas Island. They are investigating the cause, which reportedly happened on the mainland, and we'll have more information for you shortly. President Trump is again voicing optimism about a potential deal with Iran to end the war. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill, meantime, are moving forward with a vote on the War Powers Act. Senator Roger Marshall, Republican from Kansas, says he doesn't think the measure will get much movement.
It's not going to be successful. Look, the only people in the world that are helping the Iranians right now are the Democrats. I think the military needs to feel our support right now. I think we have to look at the long game here, that a nuclear-armed Iran would be a huge threat to the future of Americans.
Pierce County Sheriff's deputies have arrested a 24-year-old man after a fatal shooting in Puyallup that happened early Sunday morning. The suspect turned himself in last night at the Seattle Police Department and is now behind bars. A new report finds baby boomers are dominating the housing market. The National Association of Realtors says 42% of home buyers are boomers. And then we've been hearing from Deputy Chief Economist Jessica Lautz, who says 14% of buyers are purchasing multi-generational homes. Seattle City Council has approved 2 major pieces of legislation aimed at speeding up the expansion of shelter and services for people experiencing homelessness. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it's a big win for Mayor Katie Wilson.
One ordinance cuts red tape to open more shelter beds. The other reallocates millions of dollars to support shelters and wraparound services. Councilman Dan Strauss worked with the mayor's office and sponsored the legislation.
We need 24/7 case management and medically assisted treatment in many places. And this higher level of care means that there's a higher financial cost.
Both bills passed unanimously. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Taking a look at stocks on Wall Street, the Dow is down 118 points, about 0.25%. The S&P 500, though, is up at 42 points, and the NASDAQ is up 290 points, currently at 1.23%. KIRO News Radio traffic. Word of a rollover accident on eastbound Highway 2 in Snohomish approaching Highway 9. We also have issues around the region heading northbound. Federal Way to Bellevue will take you 31 minutes. Slow going on 405 just past 167. SeaTac to Seattle, 7 minutes longer than normal. That'll take you 20 minutes. Main slowdown approaching I-90. And then you have light issues on 405 leaving Bellevue and heading into Renton. Issaquah to Bellevue, same deal, about 3 minutes slower than normal. And word of a collision partially blocking the ramp on northbound 405 heading to 520 eastbound, although I'm not seeing significant impacts showing up there yet. Traffic brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night presented by T-Mobile is on Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio weather. Thunderstorms expected this afternoon and breezy, the high of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, the rain ends. The sun emerges. It gets warmer. A few clouds, the high 56. And then partly cloudy heading into the weekend and even warmer. Just a 10% chance of rain on Saturday. Currently in downtown Seattle, we have some scattered clouds, some light rain, and a temperature of 41 degrees. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. It's time for us to agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Okay. I just want to say that sometimes I be scared of Sophia during these agree to disagrees.
I know. We have no idea what she's going to come up
idea.
with. She's cooking up something all the time, and we have no idea what it's going to be.
And you know what's funny? It's for the past couple of days, I have put what I'm going to talk about on the rundown. But I don't overindulge. I don't want to over prepare you guys.
Yes,
because I want to get your raw reaction. But okay. I would like to say this is not me cooking up 20 minutes before. This was more thought of. So for today, we're gonna go back in time because do you remember last month or so when Timothée Chalamet got in trouble for a comment he made?
And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
So that was pretty bad. But now the head of the Royal Ballet and Opera is thanking Chalamet for boosting the London Institution's ticket sales. Their post about it got 2.5 million engagements, 500,000 shares. And they were even pointing out, hey, the largest portion of our audience is now 20 to 30-year-olds. So actually, he did us a favor. And we have these type of conversations all the time on the show. Like, how often are people going to the movies, to the library, and to the opera? And it's the same thing. And maybe people are, maybe they aren't, but maybe more of us would if it was top of mind. So my question is, do we think the arts are really dying, or do we just need to be better reminded of them?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull a narcissist type situation. That's the reason why I had the opinion about the library, because my whole plan was for people to go to the library even more, right?
Apparently they're going, and we just don't know about it.
No. Okay. So, being truthful, I think that it is not top of mind. I think that there are people in my life that I don't know, but then again, I'm a little older or whatever the case might be. I do love that happened, but I'm not going to be ignorant to say that it's not happening. I'm just saying for me.
Retired colleague Dave Ross was a frequent goer of the opera and the symphony. And, I will go to a big production, if we're talking about like at Benaroya Hall, once or twice a year maximum. And I think when you think of the arts, and if you're thinking in those terms, I think it is kind of more of a boomer generation, or maybe 40 years old and up. I mean, you said at the London theater.
I mean,
according
to the head of the Royal Ballet and Opera, he said our audience is
skewing younger.
It's skewing younger.
They must be doing something, though, because they must be doing something to attract the younger audience, whether it's discounted ticket sales or something to bring them in, because a lot of it is also very expensive.
And yes, I know that the New York City Ballet, I think they have something that like discounts tickets for people under 25 to enjoy it. But I think that's effective. And also one thing about this story that I think is interesting, young people, we love to do things out of spite. Like if you say people aren't doing something, young people don't like the opera, they don't like the ballet, I will go to the ballet just to prove you wrong.
All right, well,
God, I love that.
Young people aren't on time.
Oh, so okay.
Some young people are on time.
You know what? She's been calling at 7 o'clock on the dot.
So prove me wrong.
Yes. Okay. But here's the thing that I want to consider, because if you talk about the arts, and are the arts more accessible now or more widely appreciated, if you count things like platforms like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, those platforms are actually hosting a lot of creative works that might not have been accessible if you're only talking about the symphony or going to Benaroya Hall. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
is it something that a young person doesn't appreciate, or they're appreciating it in a different way?
I mean, we're always talking about how we're desperate for hobbies as a society, too. And I think this is kind of just bringing back, I'm not even meaning just for young people. I mean, for everyone.
Yes.
Bringing back hobbies or appreciation for non-AI generated work, craftsmanship.
Yes. For the record, I go and I see the arts more today than I ever have in my life. I have gone to a bunch of plays, right, recently. And you guys know, matter of fact, shout out, I just got a gift certificate for the Fifth Avenue Theater. You know what I mean?
Great theater. Same with Paramount.
Angela
Great
Russell
theater.
hooked me up with that. So, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be something.
But hey, young people aren't on time.
Again, I would not like to
reject.
I would not like for me to be the generalization for everyone. I know why G's saying this, okay? I'm not the most on time person.
All right, what's
but
next?
I have improved, okay? For you, G.
All right.
Okay. So gotta support everyone else. Okay, so we've mentioned it before. We've talked about protecting our peace. And for some, that has to do with keeping our messages on red. But is that just ruining your relationships? An article in The Guardian argues that there is no such thing as actually a bad texter, just bad communicators. And if you want to respond to, and you can, you will. But also texting is a task. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Computer Mediated Communication found that people tended to text when they felt a lack of belonging, and that compared to being alone, texting was found to decrease loneliness. So in a way, it is a form of being social. It's a social interaction. So what do you think? Do you think there is such a thing as a bad texter, or should we treat texting like we do social interactions? Not for all the time.
Can we text your dad and ask him?
I walked into that. I know.
Okay. It's funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, when do you know is the appropriate time to stop texting? When someone, hits you up and they throw a couple of things, and then it naturally will just die off. And it's kind of weird how you kind of get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking about that. Like, when is the right time? These are like just fleeting moments. You kind of go back and forth a couple of times, and then you move on.
I guess when the topic, whatever the topic was that initiated the text, is done, I guess. I don't know.
I just feel like that's just the cadence. Sometimes a conversation doesn't have to keep flowing forever. I think there's less pressure on texting, but people put a lot on it. And that's why I think the reactions, I've noticed all of us are really good at reacting in our messages because, hey, I acknowledged, I read it. There's not much more to say.
Yes.
But I read that it was there.
Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, text in if you have some children that don't text you back.
I feel like I'm catching a lot of strays on this one.
Text in if you got some first world problems over there.
Tell him, Nick.
All right. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have words to live by.
Congratulations to KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger and digital content producer Patrick Janasek, nominated for a Northwest Emmy Award for investigative reporting.
It began with a question from the community. It seemed almost too stunning to be true.
KIRO News Radio is honored to be the only radio station nominated for the prestigious Emmy Award as part of our commitment to impactful storytelling across every platform, reaching into the communities we serve. On KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Insulation rebates from PSC are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSC insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSC trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Voted best of Western Washington, ranked #1 senior living community in America, Aegis Living, Washington's most luxurious assisted living and memory care. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living, this must be the place.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery.
Visit walllottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's Dan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Upgrade your comfort and cut energy costs with Lake Washington Windows. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus $1,000 off whole home projects. Enjoy 18 months, no payments, no interest. Schedule your estimate by April 15th at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
No, it's Gee and Ursula. This is now time for those good old text messages. Let's see what we got.
Well, as I mentioned, the library was one of the hottest topics that we had today. Even I just saw that Angela Poe Russell also texted us and said she goes to the library all the time because the books are free. Ken in the 206 says, of all of the taxes being proposed or demanded of us, a tax supporting the library has my support. We use the library resources regularly.
Yeah, and Robin Kirkland on the other side said, I want to support the library, but when the mayor asks for one price and the council immediately boosts that price, and I feel both prices are wrong, maybe a fourth of the amount. Plus, I'd like an audit of these maintenance items. Is it because they want newer things? They can have some money, but not the insane amount the council wants to give.
Emily in Kirtland says, I placed a hold for a book recently and I was number 265 in line. So people are definitely utilizing it. And I will second what Emily said, because a lot of times Mark will have to wait for these books. I mean, sometimes they don't get a whole lot of copies of these books, but when they're in demand, they are in demand.
Okay, real quick, I just want to make sure they're going to send nearly $480 million. Ursula, are you still okay with that? Are you changing your mind because of what the people are saying? Because I'm not changing mine.
And I actually have to vote on it. So Mark and I are probably going to cancel each other's votes, because right now I'm on a protest of I don't want to just keep saying yes to property taxes. It's getting too much. And mind you, I was someone who would more often than not say yes to taxing myself more for the betterment of everybody.
You're going to have library folks mad at you.
I know. But I said my husband is going to continue to support it. And if I were a betting person, I would say it's still going to pass. I'm just doing a bit of a protest vote right now.
Yeah, and I think one last text about that would be Kayleen from Bremerton, who said, the community you find at the library can't be found online. We are on a first-name basis with our librarian. I have always valued the children and teen programs, especially in the summer. We attend the educational shows. We love making time to learn new crafts, and it's all free. We have utilized these since my kids are young, and they are now teenagers and adults.
So lots of love for the library for sure. Okay. We talked about names, the scenario where someone was upset because so many people have weird spellings of names.
Yeah.
Janie in LaConner says, my parents and grandma almost threw out my wedding invite because it had Janie and not Janelle on my invitation. She said she needed a new one with the correct name on it. Mom refuses to call me Janie even after 30 plus years.
Wow. Yeah, and Anna the 206 said, I waited until both of my parents died until I dropped my first name, Nora. My dad started calling me Ann right away, but because I was named after my paternal grandmother.
Wow. T in Conway says, my daughter named my granddaughter a fairly common name, but with a spelling that will never be spelled or pronounced by anyone without correction. In her first year in middle school, my granddaughter decided she wanted to be called Luna instead, and everyone in her school knows her by that name instead. But her family uses her given name. No harm, no foul. It's her name. It's her life. It doesn't affect anyone else's life. What a concept. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that attitude. I considered changing my name. I hated the name Ursula.
Did you see Danny text in at the last minute and said if we had an income tax, we wouldn't have to fund everything through property taxes?
One or the other. What
else you got?
And then there's one last by Margaret and Lacey. She said, my sister has 5 daughters: Courtney, Brittany, Shyla, Amory, and Amanda. All 5 have legally changed their names. Willow, Josephine, Tris, Avery B. I don't get it. I was named after my grandma. She was Margaret Anita. I am Margaret Ann. She went by Marge, and they call me Margie. I cannot stand the nickname. I've gone by my middle name, not anything else. This generation baffles me.
So Marguerite and Lacey has the same feeling as the person who was in that scenario. That's hilarious.
All right, Ursula, time for your good old words to live by. What you got?
You know, I'm inspired by Josh Naylor. So this is to continue with that whole theme. This is a quote from Joel Leon, who says, if we are asking for the world to be kind, we must first ask, what are we doing to add more kindness to the world? If we're asking for the world to be more loving, we must first ask, what are we doing to add more love to the world? We are the vessels for those things that we seek.
There it is. Like that. That was like the way that ended. The vessels for the world we seek. Nick!
Well, we're starting to find out that life is stretching further out with more days in store that many folks did not have on their route. But don't let the unknown stress you out to catastrophic fear, and enjoy the extra years you've got to keep your mentals clear. And if you're throwing some shade to be a bad texter from G, just simmer stress and reply to him with a thumbs up he can see. Because I know that's just his favorite kind of reply to his well-thought-out text that he sends.
Okay, we want you all to join us again tomorrow. If you don't, we want you to add one more day of the week to your listening, because we're going to actually talk about that. We're going to bring this back up.
I just want to, I would say the text line had more activity today than, I can't remember
in
when.
a long time.
I wonder why.
Middle of the week for a lot of people, spring break, maybe?
Maybe.
Or people are just feeling feisty, or everyone's ready for the first 8 p.m. sunset tomorrow.
Okay. Well, pull up tomorrow then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
All right, Ursula, appreciate it. Good
Appreciate
show.
you.
Don't even say it, G.
Sophia, you back with us tomorrow?
Of course.
You know. Hey, Nick, appreciate you, man.
You too, man.
Hey, the Jake and Spike show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. We'll do this again tomorrow. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with a view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' upcoming schedule is packed with epic events. Be here for Kingdom Fanny Pack Hat Night on Friday, thanks to Global Credit Union. Cal Raleigh 70s Jersey Night on Saturday, thanks to Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. And Randy Johnson Number Retirement Night May 2nd, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Gee and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley